statement. Music and words have practically changed me. Yes, the notion is true. No, I'm not religious. I just have a very strong belief that if I did not discover the power of music and words, I would not even stand here and talk to you guys about this lovely guy that I have here, while being able to find my own sense of identity within the process. A bit of a flashback. I was 16 years old. Came out to my family a year ago, sparking a lot of issues within my family right after that. Left my home country, Vietnam, to the United States shortly after. Ended up in some sort of a battle with my first school when I arrived due to the fact that I was gay, and apparently the school considered that a quote-unquote morality issue. Having to restart my high school career at the start of my second quarter of my first semester. Adding in the two other facts. One, I was mostly self-navigating through high school, a lot of it. A trait you ended up having while you live in a family with a huge generational gap. And the other fact that I was one of the only out gay Asian male students in a predominantly white community. And there you have me in freshman year, sophomore year, and the first half of my junior year. Now, the problem didn't come from the administrators or the faculty members for what happened when I first arrived, the identity crisis. So I'm very thankful for that. Most of the problems came from the students, whom I do not fully blame. The campus by itself is a diverse campus. However, the community that surrounded the campus wasn't. It was pretty homogeneous, I would say, which ended up with me an endless loop of are you insert an Eastern Asian ethnicity that is definitely not my own, and an age-old conclusion of all Asians look the same that would never end. Now, it reached a point when I'm just tired of people asking me the same questions again and again. Sometimes the same person would ask within the week, that is if I'm lucky. Less lucky, 35 days. Worst, within the day. I was tired because people asking me the same question again and again, even though A, I've let them see my real name on my ID card, and B, I have answered their questions pertaining to my ethnicity. But the way I do it back then was that I accept the fact that people there, except when they're close friends, or people who have the chance that I had to talk a lot over the school year, would not fully remember who I am. Typically, I responded with, no, I'm not, insert the ethnicity. And then I started to develop this sort of shame over where I came from. I started avoiding questions regarding my native language, my heritage, or the city that I came out from. I started to avoid using Vietnamese, or using it less and less and less in my daily conversations, even including with my parents. In fact, sometimes I went 2 to 3 days without using language at all. I started reading and writing and pretty much doing every single thing in English, but instead of Vietnamese, just for the sake of it. But most of all, I want to fit in. I just want to fit in with the mold perfectly. And what I did was that I pushed myself away from who I am. I pushed myself away from Vietnam, the country that had raised me, from Saigon, the city that I came from, and from myself. Which ended up with me asking myself a lot of times over the past 2 summers, that before junior year, that am I actually a Vietnamese? And I have more than once wished that I'm anything but that. I was willing enough to want to fit into the perfect mold, that I am willing to trade away the Vietnamese heritage, the things that make me as a lot of people know it. I wanted the Lunar New Year celebrations, the sentiments, the history, the music, the jokes, the language, the parades and fireworks, and so many more. But the worst of it all is that I was willing to trade away the language that hold most of my core values and even my deepest, darkest secrets away from me. But things started to change a little bit for the better when I rediscovered Amy Tan's The Jola Club. Now, it is possibly one of the biggest hallmarks in Asian American literature. And if you're familiar with the novel, you would wonder among yourselves, why a book about Chinese culture? Why Chinese culture? A culture that has many similarities with the Vietnamese culture, but it's not the same culture as the Vietnamese culture. Well, first and foremost, it is one of the only books about Asian culture up to date that did not pass through the white male gaze. Let's agree with that. And the storyline for everyone here, it spans across 1910s China to 1980s United States. It tells the story of 4 Chinese mothers and their 4 Chinese American daughters, and the way that they've been able to bridge their cultural and generational gap between the 2 times and the 2 countries. Something that I thought I would have had to keep searching for the answer myself on how to make peace between the largely conservative and traditionalist Vietnamese culture with the American society. And as I start over the years, I kind of discovered my own answer. I have the right to uphold and embrace aspects of my culture that I feel would align with my moral values, that I feel comfortable with. And I have the right to call out problematic aspects of my own culture that might bring disenfranchisement, that might harm people. Another example I can give was within this month. I had the honor to perform a song in my mother tongue, even though it's mother tongue. I did it a cappella on stage with everyone looking at me. And if you ask me the same question in January and pretty much any time before the start of February 2019, I would not have even taken up that offer. But I performed with the most of my enthusiasm, and for a few short moments, I stopped thinking about how people think about my language, about how weird it sounds, about how hard to pronounce things, and I just feel like this is who I am. I did take a lot of credit for that. I would not have done it if I did not push myself to do it. But I realized that I would not have done that also without the support systems that I have. My family, who forces me to speak Vietnamese, who forces me to retain my mother tongue, even though I hated it, because they know exactly what would happen being someone bilingual themselves. And my chosen family, my friends. Most of them happen to be Vietnamese, and some of them are within the crowd right now. They made me realize that being who I am, bilingual, being someone who has a different side when I speak my native language isn't something weird at all. But most of all, they made me realize that I'm not alone in the struggle that I feel. And I cannot get through all of this by myself. I do need my friends, and I do need some support to help me going through all of this. And even right now, I still battle identity crisis. Even right now, I'm still trying my best to make peace with my heritage and my upbringing and where I am right now. But if I have some words of encouragement, I would say, to the people who are thinking about going on the same journey as I do, here it goes. As long as you realize that you need to not let society define who you are and what you stand for, then you're halfway there. The other half is to find people who believe in you and to remember that you're not alone in the struggle and to continue to push your way through. And for an ending, I would like to have a quote rather that is widely used in Vietnamese. Con người có tổ có tông, như cây có cội, như sông có nguồn. Which translates into, all humans have an origin. Just like every tree has its roots, and every stream has its source. Thank you.